What's going on, YouTube? Metal Complex here. Woo! About ran out of breath. And today, we're going to be taking a look at some new arrivals and stuff that's coming soon and dropping soon on DLT Trading. We haven't done this for a bit. I've been kind of alternating. Everybody thinks that the walkthroughs are sponsored. They're not. I mean, I'm wearing Blade Binge hat going through DLT. I just keep alternating and checking Blade Binge because they have, you know, cool grails and stuff. But DLT Trading has awesome stuff all the time, too. In fact, it's really the only other place that I truly enjoy doing these shop-alongs. So if you want to check out what's new at DLT Trading with me, I'm going to be going through their newest arrivals and restocks and things like that, and giving my commentary. If you don't want to hear my lovely, beautiful, totally not nasally voice and my squeaky chair, then I will link these pages down in the description for you guys to check out at your own pace. So thanks so much to my patrons for supporting me. Let's see what we've got here. Sorry, the background is... When I lean back, I just look compressed because the background's erased. So we've got some large Sebenzas. I don't love Box Elder. Some people do. I do like the Bog Oak. I think that looks a lot better. $650. I don't know if I like it that much. Truthfully, you know, it would take a lot more than that to get me to buy a Sebenza. Maybe if they dropped them in Damascus again, maybe I'd go for a Damascus one. White River, but I do like the different colored Sokamalitos. Are always fun. We have new. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you the most recent thing that has pissed me off. That makes me irrationally angry. So Microtech, who sells these shadow, whatever, the shadow ones. Cool. DLC. That's great, right? I mean, yeah, you're basically charging us to take the logo off, except you're not anymore. They put the logo on that. My Stitch. I'll never, ever get rid of my Microtech Shadow Stitch or my Microtech Shadow Scarab because they are, number one, they were overpriced back then. They're way more overpriced now, but they're true shadow. They are truly, what do you call it? Sterile, right? Now, probably the reason that they do this is for is to combat counterfeits, which there are a bajillion counterfeits, right? That's probably the reason. Still irritating because now I know that if I ever want to pick, and it is like I'm being kind of a drama queen here. It's very subtle. You can see I'm pointing at it as if you guys can see my finger, but it's very, very subtle. But I saw it jutting out of this shadow stitch. I was like, ooh, like they have shadow stitches. That's cool. They had like a shadow ramlock stitch, but it still had the logo on it. And I was like, oh my god. Is it even on the Hellhound? Let's take a look. Yep, there it is right there. You see that? Oh man, that's just annoying. That's annoying. Did you see this? The Heretic Manticore X Diamond Sword. A $465 nod to Minecraft. Kind of cool. Kind of cool. If I'm being honest, it's kind of cool. Sorry. I know everybody loves the sound of an energy drink being slurped in their ear. It is, I mean, I'm glad they did it with the bigger guy. 9 1/4 inches here. Magna Cut blade. You know, that's real cool. I mean, I don't know. Man, Minecraft is old. Like, a lot of people look at this and go, Minecraft? You mean that game for the youngsters? Minecraft has been around forever. Anybody who says that, those are the same people who say Pokemon or Pokemon. If Pokemon is a streamer. Pokemon, right? Those are the people who say Pokemon like, I don't know how to say it. I'm so out of touch because I'm so cool. I don't... Pokemon? You know what you're saying. Don't pretend like you don't know how to say... Like, Pokemon has not been a word that is said, like, all the time in your face for the last 20 years. Like, you don't know how to say it. Don't be that person. Same thing, right? Minecraft. Usually I have a whole energy drink beforehand. I'm recording this in the morning, so I'm all grouchy, right? But yeah, Minecraft has been around long enough that it's not really, like exclusive. Like when it first came out, like the people who were the youngsters playing that, they're like fully grown adults now. I think when Minecraft came out, I was but a teenager, and I'm now 38. So, can you tell? Can you tell? Probably. Heretic Wraith Auto Bowie, that's really cool. I really thought those would be gone immediately, and I'm surprised that they're still there. This guy is, wow, that's actually way bigger than I thought it was. I thought it was only 8 inches. That's what she said. 8.69 inches Magna Cut, and this is an auto. That's actually super cool, and less expensive than a lot of the other comic book Cerakote stuff that they've done. That's neat. I think this is one of those knives that once it's gone, people will regret not having it. So if you're on the fence about it, I own a couple of these Heretics with the Cerakote, and they're always super cool in person. I just got this in. The Vanguard ESOX 2. I believe you can get this. It says polished. It's kind of hard to tell. This might actually, I think it's actually a mirror polished blade or very close. The only reason I think that is because Vanguard did Jeff Blauvelt's knife here recently, and their polished version of it was like legitimately almost a mirror polish. So if you're thinking about that one, I believe that is actually the case. That is a super nice knife. It's kind of like, it's like the Les George VECP and Sebenza kind of like came together to make an even more bland knife, but it actually is really cool. Now mine came with a Damascus pocket clip. They're advertising this, so maybe it does actually come with both. Let's read here. Meticulously crafted M390. Okay. Max Works. Blah-de-de-diddly-doo. Additionally, the knife includes a titanium clip and an extra Damascus clip. That's actually pretty cool because the Damascus clips would probably typically run about $50 minimum. So that's kind of neat. It's also a sneaky way to sell the clip with the knife. But, I mean, I'm not, it's still pretty cool, though. It is. Okay. Wow, lots of pens. Whole bunch of pens. What's this? Bit bar. Oh, that's kind of neat. I don't know for $120, right? But it's kind of neat. Like, they all hide in there, and then you push the button, and, and you have the little driver there. See, I don't like the idea of the case being the driver. I want the driver to be in the case, and I can push a button and the driver pops out and is removable. I like that idea. Oh, we got Nova Minis here. So I don't think these are... Oh, wait. I clicked on something that wasn't the Mini. This is the Luxe. So, you know what's interesting about the Luxe? The full-size one was made by Riot. I believe Vero's dedicated OEM is Bestech. The Mini Luxe might be Bestech. The Mini Nova, I'm almost certain, is Bestech. Maybe I'm wrong. It's still a 7.5-inch knife. It's actually a pretty good-sized EDC knife. It is not mini. That word mini has really messed with people. Not indicating how small a knife is has messed with people. And using the word mini to indicate that it is a smaller version of whatever their standard version is causes people to immediately think like something that is truly mini. So, like, for example, the XM18 3-inch. That should be called the XM18 Mini because that thing is freaking tiny, man. How many of you are like, I don't know, the 3.5-inch, that sounds like it might be a little big. I'll go with the 3-inch. And you get it and you're like, what is this? Like, it's like it's like this big. It just feels so small, right? But the Nova Mini is not a mini knife. It's still a pretty big knife. It's just smaller. It's mini compared to the medium-sized one, right? How do you combat that? I don't know. Everybody's expectations are different. So, the TFF4 is kind of a good-looking knife. It's got that same clunky Medford look, right? Like somebody made their own tool and then they dropped it and it got buried in the earth for like 100 years, right? I'm basically just describing how Medford creates its stuff. They're definitely high quality knives. But yeah, I think that's intentionally meant to look like that. Ooh, the Berg Alpha. I think this is actually... I want to say this is on the way to me, or it's going to be coming soon. So I love Berg blades. I love Berg blades. I own 3, I think. This looks awesome. 8¼ inches, and that is true DLC. That's really cool. MagnaCut, DLT Trading. I really wish you guys... I doubt they're watching this. They don't, again, this is not a sponsored video. DLT Trading doesn't know when I do this, right? But... You know, so they're probably not watching, but I really wish that they would just list the HRC ranges. Oh, wait, are these... Yeah. Spyderco Shaman Lynch clips. Spyderco Stubby Northwest Spyderco clip. Spyderco. If you're looking to pick this up for your pair of 3, and you still want the lanyard hole to be functional, I don't know why you'd care. Where's mine? Where are you? There you are. Damn it! There it is. This is a clip made specifically. Where's my webcam? Oh, it's up here. Is it up here? It's a clip made specifically for the pair of 3, where it bypasses the lanyard hole, but it also makes space for it. If you slap a 3-hole clip on your Spyderco, like this, you can, on your pair of 3, you can do that, but it'll partially cover the lanyard hole. Now, the irony of me wanting the specific clip that doesn't, you know, cover up the lanyard hole is specifically for aesthetic reasons and not functional reasons, because I hate lanyard holes. But I don't want it to look weird. I wanted to maintain the trivial utility of the lanyard hole. Just so aesthetically it doesn't look bad. So stupid. I like the stuff that we do. I'm not trying to lump you guys in with me, but the logic that I use as a knife guy when I'm deciding, like, you know, what I want or what I'm about to buy, like, it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. These are still here. I'm really surprised. So this is probably like the most performance-oriented Eclipse that has ever been made. The skinny hollow ground slicer. Not only is the blade stock thinner, right? It's 145 thousandths versus 165. It's still, I know people are still not very thin. It's much thinner than the typical XM18 or Eclipse 3.5 inch. Those are 165 thousandths. It is also the slicer grind, which is better. It's better for any it doesn't matter what thickness, right? The slicer grind has better cutting geometry, but then it's a smaller blade stock thickness and it's hollow ground. At the edge, from what I understand, these are actually pretty thin. And then everything else is your typical XM build, right? I think the titanium might actually be thinner too. In fact, it almost certainly is. Yeah. Okay. So if you're going to use your XM, I mean, I have a full thickness one that I use and I think it's fine. But if you're really obsessed with that edge geometry and you want that Hinderer experience, like this is the way to go. This or the XM18 for sure. Oh, they still have ketchup and mustard in here too. Yeah, I'd say pick the one you want. The red, honestly, I don't have a red or a yellow in my I don't have red, yellow, or green. I kind of just want one of those colors there. That ZT, that's one of the best knives that ZT has released in a long time. It's a very good one. Did they make this? Oh, they made a different version. It's not chocolate anymore, is it? It's black. This thing flew right under the radar. I didn't even know they released a black version. ZT, Kai USA, you guys holding out on me? You guys usually send me that stuff. I'm not cool. I'm not cool enough anymore. Nah, sometimes they send me stuff and sometimes they don't. I don't expect them to send me everything. See? Logo right there. That just really diminishes the whole, like I get what they were doing in the first place. Like, oh, you want a sterile blade? Sure. We'll DLC code it and charge you for it. Basically paying to have the logos removed. But then putting the logos back on there, like, why is it a signature series? Why are we paying more? Just say it's DLC. Charge us 50 to 80 more and just call it DLC. There's some stonewashed ones. If you're looking for a stonewash, I always like the stonewash more than the working finish. So I have this knife right here, and I have my old dedicated user was this one, and it's in like the army, almost like an army gray green, and it's cool. But I have switched to this all black one because they sent it to me and it's awesome. But I still use that one down here for size comparison sometimes. But this is, oh my god, the Shark Cub is so good. That and the Sage 6, you guys know, like those two have dominated my pockets. There's a whole bunch of these. Maybe it's just not a popular configuration, right? Now people will look at there's always people who don't buy Hinderer knives and they look at any in-stock Hinderer products and they go, Hinderer knives are not, they're falling off, man. They're not as popular anymore. No, that's not how that works at all. People don't just buy any Hinderer knife. It's certain configurations. Certain configurations, like for example, the non-flipper fullard spear, 3.5 inch. If DLT Trading dropped that right now, every single one of them would be gone in 30 seconds. With or without notification, those would be gone so quickly, right? The fatty Spantos, if they ever decide to do that again, they would definitely be gone, right? This must just look like be a weird configuration for people. I think it's really cool. I think the slicer grind is a lot more popular on the XM18 3.5 inch. Maybe on the Eclipse, I think the Eclipse as a whole model is not nearly as popular as the XM18. But it's still really good. I mean, in fact, ergonomically, it's better. All the way around, it's a superior knife. It's just that the XM18 is the flagship model, right? We got some mini Ariuses. Not interested in those at all. We have the Noel Raiden in Damasteel. This is an excellent knife. I own 2 of these. That's one of the cheaper Damasteel knives I've seen here lately. I mean, it's still a lot of money, $500 for a pocket knife, but it's one of the less expensive Damasteel knives I've seen in a while. The Arrow, we've got the vents, right? The Tashi Barucha Krypton. I was supposed to get one of these, I think, from... what the heck is this? I was supposed to get one of those from Crane's Color, I think. The Luminary Signature Series in blue. What? 8.6 inches. It's aluminum. I really wish... I know it makes it hard because of how an OTF operates, but I really wish Microtech would make a titanium. They're never going to do it. Not for less than $1,000. But it's a cool knife. It's just like, why did you guys make another OTF? Like, yep, it's another Microtech OTF. Honestly, probably the reason they do that is to keep the counterfeiters and the cloners off, playing catch up constantly. Because that's what they're doing, right? Good Lord. What is this? Wow. Okay. Glycon. Microtech Dirac Delta. So, I got an opportunity, by the way, speaking of counterfeits, I got so many people that are like, there's the clone argument, the count argument. Think whatever you want. The one thing that I kept hearing that I was like, that is utter nonsense and there's no way. And again, I'm not like, I know what a counterfeit is and I know what a clone is, and there are 2 different definitions. And if you don't know the different definitions, then you should learn them, right? A counterfeit is a company steals the entire design and the logos. A clone is all of that or nearly all of that, but without the logos and the name and the brand. If you're stealing the brand, the logos, you're stealing everything. That's a counterfeit. It's terrible. If you buy counterfeits, gross. Like, ew, shame on you. Don't do that. Honestly, I don't like clones either, but okay, it's your money. Lesser of 2 evils. Counterfeits, yuck. The number one thing that I always knew was BS. People in my comments. The clone's the same. It's exactly the same quality. Exactly the same. Here's when it's the same quality. When you're buying from one of those companies that clone the item, and then they also actually use, like, it's a Chinese company, so it costs less. Not because they're a charity, but because it's made in China. The manufacturing costs are less, right? It's not like, oh my gosh, out of the goodness of their heart, they've given us a discount. This company that's cloning a Microtech. Like, what sort of logic is that? They're using actual titanium, and in many cases, they're actually using premium steel. And surprise, surprise, that actually costs money. But then there are the super cheapo depot TikTok variations of, like, say, the Glycon that run $40-50 or less. I've had people in comments here and on TikTok and YouTube Shorts say, it's the same quality. It's the same quality. You're just a bad, you're just a dumb person. You bet. Got a chance to handle one. Have somebody here locally said, yeah, it's funny, I bought one of those off the TikTok shop. Oh my, what a joke. Oh, it was adorable. It was very adorable. Hopefully I can get an opportunity to show you. But God bless your little souls who think that those little $50 Glycons are the same as admittedly, the US Glycons, while they do cost a lot of money to create, are certainly marked up, along with all Microtech products. But bless your sweet, sweet little soul for thinking that those are the same things. They are not. If you want, truly, if you're trying to get as close to the real thing as possible, it's going to cost you money, because it costs a lot of money to produce something that is quality, whether you're looking at a Chinese product or an American product. The only time I think they probably get kind of close is when you are comparing, like, the counterfeits of the basic Benchmade bug out. Not very difficult to make something that already feels cheap feel cheap. Then yeah, the $25 one, while you're not getting S30V or anything like that, I'm sure that they are able to produce plastic and D2 and make it feel about the same. But no, don't listen to anybody who says that the $40 to $50 counterfeits on TikTok of, like, the Microtech stuff is the same thing. They have no idea what they're talking about. He's mean. That was mean. He's being so mean. Welcome to my channel. Welcome. If somebody says something stupid, I'm definitely going to call him out on it, especially if I have hands-on knowledge of it. But anyways, and for people asking me, why don't you buy a bunch of those counterfeits and compare? Because you're asking me to buy counterfeits. No. Now, as far as somebody already having it, maybe. Then yes, I'd be interested in making content out of it. But no, I'm not going to go and support people who create counterfeit. I'm not going to give them money. That's insane. This is probably one of the coolest color combinations and art on a Spartan Harz that I've ever seen. I think that's really cool. This is part of the reason why I love DLT Trading so much. Even though U.S., the popular U.S. mid-tech and custom knife makers are certainly marked up, it is still something, it's a very, very powerful niche market that, somebody like me, why would I consider paying $575 for a titanium and S45EN Spartan Harzi that's made in the USA when I could probably get the exact equivalent in a Chinese clone for $250, $200 or less? Not $50, because you're not getting the same thing. You're going to have to buy one of the higher end clones. Why would I do that? Because I want to support an American. It's not because I'm an idiot, right? That's the default go-to. It's because I want to support small businesses like Spartan who are making this stuff in the USA. That's why, right? And if you don't have the budget for it, I think that's perfectly fine, right? I'm not coming down on anybody for having any particular budget, but me personally, that means a lot to me. I like my Chinese knives that are not clones or counterfeits. I like my knives from Poland, from Japan, from all over the place. I like it. But will I pay more money because it's made in the United States? Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of the other people who like to buy this stuff will tell you the exact same thing. It's not because they're like, oh, less expensive knives exist. What have I been doing? We know. We know what we're doing. We want to do that. We want to. This is a cool looking knife. Switching gears back to Chinese cutlery. Oh, it's a fixed blade. Man, I thought it was a pocket knife. Still made in China. That's too much money for a Chinese fixed blade, but it is cool. Folding knife, if so. That's another thing that confuses people. Fixed blade's more durable than a folding knife. It should cost more. No, it's less expensive to manufacture a fixed blade. For sure. Are these the folding versions? Oh, these are the fold. Oh, hold on. Were they mixed in? I bet they're mixed in and I clicked. No. Nope, I was just dumb. While I was preaching to everybody. I was just being dumb. Here are the folding versions, which are only slightly more. S90V and gray crystal tie. Ooh, ooh, green crystal tie. That's a good looking knife. Look at this. 6.5 inches though. For me, it's too small. What kind of knife? Is this a slip joint? It is. Titanium, like a sub frame lock under crystal tie. Oh, I'd be all over this. 1946 X series slip joint, slip joint, slip joints. Do you have a bigger one? Maybe they made a bigger one. That's a really good looking profile. I like that. I wish it was a bigger knife. 3-legged dog. These are custom knives. Dead Wreck and Ridgeback. This is the one that people always try to give me as an example of an American. They try to give me the example of it's American Integral. It's under $400. Yes, this is aluminum. That's why. Right. Even their titanium integral is only $450. But have you seen it? It's very, very simple. I think it's really impressive that they can do it. And I love Dead Wreck and knives. But there's always, people try to use Dead Reckon all the time to tell me, like, your bar for a Chinese titanium integral is too high. And usually, where I consider a good price for a full-size, fully milled, impressive, like, they put the extra effort in, titanium integrals, $400. But what you always see over something like this is more detail, titanium, oftentimes, at least the option for DLC. You'll see more exotic blade materials. Sometimes this one's in MagnaCut. This is still a really, really good deal. It's one of the most impressive, legitimate U.S. integrals out there. And the titanium one at $450 or $500 or whatever is also very, very impressive. But if you compare it with your $400 full-size Chinese titanium integrals, the Chinese ones are far more complicated, which accounts for that cost. Now, you can find Chinese titanium integrals in exotic or premium blade materials for less. But guess what? They end up being simpler in design and in terms of the total amount of machining involved. So in some cases you have unnecessary markup, and in some cases you have markup because it legitimately costs more. But there's always a reason, right, for these like really low cost things. I think this is a really good buy, by the way. $375 for a US aluminum integral. Right? It sounds like I'm coming down on it, I'm not. I'm just giving you my argument there. The Model 1. This is also an incredibly impressive price on an American product here. So this is I think it's just a plunge lock, and that's fine. Hold on, let's read. Yeah, it's a button lock. Okay, so it's a plunge lock. It's not a button-operated compression lock. Nicely milled, flat, but nicely milled titanium scales. Let's make sure it's not aluminum. Yeah. Got that little stepped blade, which I think is actually just like, maybe when they come off of that, when they're cut, they just leave those on there. But it's fine. It's kind of cool looking. Captive pivot, almost 8 inches, MagnaCut. That's an amazing price tag. It's a lot of money for a knife. For a fully in-house, small shop, USA-made titanium and MagnaCut pocket knife with premium tolerances, super low price. Always been impressed by those. Berg Blades Minis. Is it the Mini Sweeney? I always read that Minis Weenie. I don't know why. That's what my brain does. Scarab. Oh my gosh, we've been at this for 30 minutes. Time flies in here, guys. Whiskers in Sapphire. It's been so long. I went 8 pages. Hold on. Let's go back and we're going to take a look at, where is your restocks page? Did you guys move this? There it is. No, they didn't move it at all. Okay. That's the Compadre, the smaller one. That's definitely a cool knife. That is in Vanix, DLC, polished. That's part of the reason why it costs so much. But I think they have bumped the price on that, by the way. I think that's gone from $280 to $300. Maybe I'm wrong. Anything else? Small Sebenza 31, small Sebenza 31, Blurple Military. Cobalt Military. Military 2, sorry. Anything? Not really. Let's go to the drops real quick. Vero, Shiro, in stock, Raiden, Big Idea. Hold on, let's take a look here. The Overlook. I don't know if they're being cute with that name, but like, it's kind of easy to... I'm making the joke that everybody's making right now. Like, we all got this joke at the same time, right? It's like, you know, like when Reich released the Cybertrix and people were like, that looked like the Cybertruck. Oh my white guy, he thought it looked like the Cybertruck. Yeah. Yeah. Imagine that. The name even sounds like it. It's almost like they did it on purpose. We're all making that joke at the same time. He's sassy today. He's sassy. I should have had my caffeine beforehand. It is kind of easy to overlook. Oh my goodness, it's only 6 1/4 inches. From what I know about Big Ideas Design, they've made some interesting stuff. That is too small for me. Maybe it's for somebody else. Just because it's not for me doesn't mean that it's not for somebody else. I think that's a very small and easy to overlook knife. So maybe that they did that literally. Boy, these are little things. Little bitty. Maybe that's the joke. Well, I do like your bit holder. I think that's cool. The pens look nice. Okay. Titanium pocket tool, deluxe something or other. Okay. And then I want to see what's coming. I have this. It is very disappointing. Bailout carbon fiber S90V for $400. Yikes. I also have this. It's a knife. Boker Plus for $500. Good Lord. Where are you guys making this? Italy? Italy. Wow. MagnaCut and carbon fiber and titanium, huh? Okay. The bucks look, I don't know, kind of interesting. They got a lot of crap on the blade. Let's go to page 2. The Salt Manix 2 XL that's pretty badass. That's pretty cool. Is that G10? That's pretty badass. I'd pay $224 for that. That's too much money. I'd pay $224 for that. In fact, I think I might. That's awesome. I really like that. Boy, that's really cool. G10. Look at the grip on that thing, man. That is cool. Spyderco has only really kind of used MagnaCut. I'm guessing they're on the higher end. Just imagine that blade, man. 63, 64, almost certainly. With that leaf-shaped giant Manix 2 blade. What a beast. Toss it around in the water. Who cares? Spyderco's salt knives are water knives. That's what irritated me so much about Benchmade's water knife series. Water knife? What do you mean? Regular water can exist on the same planet as this knife, and also it's blue? It's so vaguely... These are salt water knives. Like, that'll be fine. I imagine some of the internals might be... They probably use a special type of stainless steel, and then maybe they also coat them. But a DLC-coated MagnaCut blade, in my opinion... That'll work for saltwater. That's a cool knife. This is awesome. This will probably be in the thumbnail. When's it coming? No idea. Super cool. That's going to be it today, guys. This was actually a fun episode despite my grouchy demeanor here. I actually am pretty pumped about a lot of this stuff. clones and counterfeits really irritate me. But I respect everybody's right to buy, like, you know, the people who are buying clones, like I said in that short video, I think they all know exactly what they're buying. Like, those aren't being used to manipulate people. I really hate counterfeits, and I really hate the rate that they're being pumped into our industry by platforms like TikTok. I really hate that, and I really don't like the people who buy them, and I definitely don't like the people who use them and sell them to other people in the secondary market who don't know any better, or the people who take counterfeit knives and return them. They order authentic knives from sites like DLC or DLT, and then they return them. And while DLT and Blade HQ and those guys probably do a pretty good job of knowing when they're receiving, counterfeits, like when a knife is being returned that's, often counterfeited, like the bug out, they probably do a pretty good job checking. But obviously they slip through the cracks sometimes because they put these things back on the shelves and then people buy them and receive counterfeits, sometimes without even realizing it. I hate that. It's awful. It's poisonous. There's no justification for it. So I get a little grouchy when I bring that topic up to myself. Anyways, this was still fun. Either way, this was a fun walkthrough of DLT. There's a ton of stuff here. You guys should definitely check out DLT Trading. I'll put it down in the description so you guys can check it out. That's going to be it for me today, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.